there is a thick line, where it's like, if the what's in it for that person or that place or that thing compromises your boundaries, compromises your belief system, compromises who you are today, forget about who you were yesterday. And we're not there in tomorrow yet. We will be tomorrow if God decides to let the sun rise, right? Because we don't know. I don't know about you, but there has been a series of catastrophic events. So if tomorrow comes, you know what I'm saying? We will deal with that tomorrow. But today, if the what's in it for that person, place, or thing compromises the things that I just stated, they've got to go. It has to go. There's no more compromising. Hi, it's Elise from E's Dog World. I'm a content creator who shares my journal journey with you. I have my journal that I like to videocast, and it's just my life, what's going on in it, what I'm learning, what I'm evolving into, out of, and the like. And I like to share it with you guys, my vulnerability with you guys, because I know someone out there needs to hear this. So, hello. If you're not new here, hello, because it's been a minute. And if you are new here, welcome. You're in for a surprise. And the surprise is that there are not few of us out there. There are a lot of us out there. And I truly believe that there is a collective going on right now in similarities, because as much as we like to think that this world is huge, it's really not. As much as we like to see and think that there's a bunch of new things underneath the sun, there really isn't. And yeah, so I truly believe that our tribe is like telepathically like meet, finding each other. And yeah, you found me. Hi. So today is going to be exciting because my channel is yet again under construction because, well, yeah, no, I'm going to call it under construction because I do need to make a new intro video. So today is the last day you're going to have that really fun intro video that was made a couple years ago, which I love, but I got to update it. So that needs to change a little bit and kind of, update that. And we are going to start another playlist. Because the last playlist that I made was the Level Up Whimsically playlist, right? And that was a lot of fun because from the Leveling Up Whimsically and the Really Important Stuff My Dog Have Taught Me, if you look at my channel, those have like set the foundation as to where we are today. Okay, so check those videos out if you are new here because that will give you like a little bit of an insight as to like the type of person I am and my personality and like put you up on game. But if you're not new here, you already know. So I don't want to keep expounding on the Leveling Up Whimsically because we already did that. Now we're just like in maintenance mode, right? We already built the foundation. The foundation is already laid. We're just kind of building upon it and maintaining it, adding some oil if need be, just maintaining. So I'm not exactly sure what I want to call this playlist. I'm not sure, but it's going to be along the lines of owning the time that you're in, like the season and the time that you're in. Owning the person who you are. Owning the person who you have grown up to be. Owning the person that you have always been, but maybe not have shown up as. This playlist is for that. There's no more of the rhetorics out here as far like in our heads, because that's really the only place that it is, of what the next person has to say. All those people that are reminding you of how you used to be, they don't matter. And then all the new people that are telling you how you should be also don't matter unless you want them to matter. unless they have some sort of value in your life, add something to your life, then sure, it matters. But if not, it does not matter. Okay? And if those are the two things that are affecting you from showing up as your authentic self, we're going to use this playlist to address that. So yeah, that's really important, because y'all gonna laugh at this, and this is also gonna tell my age, but I was listening to this infomercial or commercial on just like in between the ads of YouTube when I was watching a podcast, and the hooks on phonics, they made like this new thing to like intrigue the children, and it's based off of like really good rhymes. So I'm like going to the beat or whatever, but she, like, the little girl says this statement, and it says, she's like, compromising leads to resentment. And the fact that it came out of her mouth, I was like, wait a minute. I went from, wow, that little girl knows a big word, to like, that is so true. And I've touched on that in a couple of videos. And this video is really stemming off of me actually going back and rewatching a lot of my videos. And I enjoy watching my videos. I really, really do. That's always entertaining for me. But just to see, like, you know, I'm really onto something. First of all, I love the way I speak. And second of all, I love the person who I am. Third of all, you know, just admiring myself, because I don't get to see what you guys see. I just see myself on a camera or in a mirror. I don't get to see myself. You know, I see all of you, but I cannot see me. And the same vice versa. You cannot see yourself. So it's nice to have my journal journey to look back on. But I have to understand that compromising in this season is like, there's no more left of compromising. And I know they say in a relationship, especially marriage, it's based off of compromising, but there is a catch-22 to that. And that is why, another thing too, in owning who I am, right? God gives us the foundation, honestly, first of all, first and foremost. So when we have that compromising line and statuette, it stems off of being equally yoked. And not only to your husband, but equally yoked to your friends, equally yoked to your endeavors as far as your career. Are you doing what God's gift is to you? Or are you just doing what your parents told you to do? And the lineage of your parents? Or what, you know, you've been doing since you were young, and that's the only thing you know how to do. But are you really happy, right? Are you really standing in like your gift to the world? Because everybody standing in their gift to the world is contributing. From here all the way to here is contributing. So this season is really like, if you're not, or if you are, or if you're like one leg in, one leg out, is really like addressing that. That's what this season is about. Here today, we're standing in our own self, whatever that may be, whoever you are starting today, we are not compromising. Okay, this is giving patience versus waiting video. Go look that up on my playlist, the Leveling Up Whimsically playlist. It's patience versus waiting. There's a difference between compromising, like taking the word compromising, but it's really a mask for manipulation. And that's why it leads to resentment. So there is an inkling left of that still in me. And as dry as I could come off to people who I'm still trying to scope out, as least information as I give to people that are still trying to figure me out, because I don't know you yet. I got to figure you out. Or I might know you, but there's just still something that I can't put my finger on that is causing me to be this way with you, right? But I still talk to you, and really it's a form of compromising, because there's something that's keeping me here, but I'm also not all the way here, and I either know why, and I'm a humanitarian. So I love, as much as I don't really fully understand people, I love people. I really do. And I love to see people happy. I love to see people grow. And I feel like the safest way for me to do that is the way I'm doing it with this journal journey, because anytime that I really try to just too close knit with human beings, I'm still at 35 trying to figure out how to do that. By the way, I just turned 35 a couple months ago in August. We are in October right now, the 9th. I turned 35 in August. So it feels different. And I'm like, should it feel different at 35? But it does. And this is what it is. It's like there's that last little bit of compromising left in me. That last little bit of, I don't want to say nice girl, because I'm very nice. I'm very giving. I'll give you the shirt off my back. But that compromising where it's like, okay, something's still here. They still have a chance. Build a bear vibe. What else? Like, okay, but at the end of the day, when we go back and look at what the records show and all these things, there's some of that still left in me. And I think 35, that's gone. Like, and in the most sweetest and humblest way, but it's all an effort for everybody to just go where they fit in. Go where they're equally yoked. Go where like the stars align for you in the most humblest way. Like, so that's where I feel like compromising we think it's helping people and we think it's being nice and being like, oh, well, they did this. And yeah, but it's a form of manipulation because at the end of the day, everybody wants something. Okay. Everybody wants something. And you know, I'm a strong believer of what's in it for me. And that's what helped me get to the point that I'm at now is like, no, every encounter, every person, place, or thing, what is in it for me? For me to show up, for me to engage, for me to talk to, for me to answer back, for me to anything, what's in it for me? And I'm not selfish for feeling that way. But there is a thick line, where it's like, if the what's in it for that person or that place or that thing compromises your boundaries, compromises your belief system, compromises who you are today, forget about who you were yesterday. And we're not we're not there in tomorrow yet. We will be tomorrow if God decides to let the sun rise, right? Because we don't know. I don't know about you, but there has been a series of disastrous, catastrophic events. So if tomorrow comes, you know what I'm saying? We will deal with that tomorrow. But today, if the what's in it for that person, place, or thing compromises the things that I just stated, they've got to go. It has to go. There's no more compromising. And again, I'm trying to say this in the most nicest way, but it may not come out the nicest way. And it's not about being nice, because all you're left with when your boundaries, when your standards, as far as what you've set for yourself to get to the point of life that you're in, are compromised because you want to compromise, because relationships with human beings are based off of compromising. You're going to be by yourself with your compromised situation. And really, whose fault is that? So in this series too, we're going to really take accountability. We have nobody to blame. Like, in order to like really stand in this power of owning who you are and showing up as your most authentic self, which is what the world wants. They don't want a watered down version of you. Your people can't find you if you're showing up as a watered down, different version of you for whatever reason. Embarrassed, scared, whatever, or just not ready. Whatever it is, your tribe cannot find you. The people who are not going to make you compromise in the sense of manipulation because what they've done for you, because who they are to you, because what they have invested in their life and how, whatever, like, it can't be that way. Both ways. So in this season, if there's any situations like that taking place with your people, places, and things, those things really have to get addressed. Because if they don't, like, this is not going to be as like powerful as it could possibly be. So all of this with light and love. And I think I'm going to name this series Light and Love. I think I'm going to name this series Light and Love because you want to send off these things with light and love. You want to send them off with your most emotionally controlled, but standing in your power and standing in your aligned action. But you want to make it clear with light and love. But from that point on, like, you know, you move accordingly. Things happen accordingly. And that is really important. So hopefully you're still with me in this. And when I say you, I mean me. And hopefully you too, right? Whoever needs to hear this, I don't know who needs to hear this. Whoever else needs to hear this. I hope that all that, replay it and then press a little red line and go back and replay it till it, like, step one gets through your head. If it compromises those things, and what could be compromising to me could be completely different from what compromises to you. You need to sit your happy self down and know what's compromising to you. You need to know what you believe in, what you stand for, what your family stands for, what you want for your next stage in life, and how if you do this, it cannot open the door for that. And it's not about compromising, because who wants to be in a compromising situation that now it's just a person that you resent? All this to just resent at the end of the day. And sometimes it's not just one person who resents. It might be both parties who resent. Or the place, you never want to go back because it's a resentful thing. It's a resentful memory. It's a resentful just embarkment. Or the thing. No, but when we send off with light and love, standing firm, and like, look, it's not about you understanding. I'm going to try my best to explain it because I care enough. That's a form of compromising. Because I care enough, I'm going to explain one time, right? And then from there, you must understand. And that's not to take away from the amazing things that took place, but that's why season is such a strong word. And it's an actual thing that we can physically see to help us understand, like leaves falling, what do you call it? Snow falling, the sun rising, things growing. All that is like to show us like this is life. This is life. And that's why it's so important to show up as your authentic self. And if you do call yourself caring about a person, place, or thing, make sure you're aligned. Make sure you're equally yoked. Make sure you guys believe in somewhat the same thing. Because if not, it's gonna at the end up to a lot of resentment, bask in compromising, and laced with manipulation. And what can we build off of that? What can we build off of that? So yeah, this is the Light and Love series. That's what we're gonna call it, Light and Love. I would love to know what's going on with you guys as a collective, because for me, I finally understood. Hold on, let me get a drink of water, because that took a lot of passion out of me just now. I don't know if you noticed, but it did. But yeah, this season is beautiful. There's a video that I watched on my page from the Really Important Things That Dogs Have Taught Me series about using the seasons as an excuse to, you know, do what you got to do. Make sure that you're looking out for you, making sure that if you want to create something, use this season as your grand opening. Make it fun. Don't make me get my exclamation point out on you guys. Make it fun, okay? Make it fun, because it's your life. But make it fun. And it's really important. All this is really important. Like, you're really important. Like, everybody's watching you. When you make it a point to be in your life and to, like, show up a certain way, especially creatives that are like leaning more towards like serving and like humanitarianism and like wanting to see the world be a better place. Everybody's watching you. So it's like you got to lead by example in your own life. Okay? So just keep that in mind. It's from what's the inside out. It's embodying these things. And that has to stem from the little, planting a little seed of vulnerability and just watching it grow. Speaking of that, I want to co-host, whatever, one video with a dear friend of mine who really, I don't know if he understands or really realizes how much of an impact this one conversation we had. His brand is let others' vulnerability evolve. Let your vulnerability evolve, basically. It's his brand logo is a butterfly. He's amazing. I'm not sure if he has a YouTube yet, but if he hasn't, I'm going to actually like probably force him to get one at this point, because he has so much to add to this world. It's not even funny. And that conversation, he doesn't really realize it, but it really helped me. And I think we had this conversation maybe almost, it has to be 2 years ago, 3 maybe. I don't know, but it was a while ago. And he was just talking, and I was just listening. And for me to be quiet, that's pretty cool. Because I'm really like engaging if I'm zipping it. And he was just basically like, you got to be vulnerable. Like at this point, I'm not going to butcher what he said. That's why I really want to get on a thing with him and let him explain it. Because I really feel like it will really help set the tone on like, okay, wait, how are we supposed to make sure we take this aligned action as far as like standing in who we are? Yeah, you got to be vulnerable. You got to take accountability. You have to show up as your authentic self. And also, like, you need to get help with your demons. You got to get help with your whatever spiritual situation inside that either you understand or you may not understand. Okay? You need to get help if it's something physical, if it's something mental, emotional, financial, because all those things like play a really big part in the whole shebang. And in the journey, as you mature and you get older, yeah, it gets better and you learn more things and you start getting the hang of like the maintenance. But then once all that is laid out, you got the car, you got the house, you got the this, you got the that. When you're done like conscious creating all the tangible things and maintaining it, and your job loves you, your career is popping off and all these things, a bunch of stuff starts coming out inside of the noggin here. And that's what they always say. It's not just about the money. The most richest people are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So it's not about the money. Like, it's not about if I just had more money. Like, we gotta really figure out, not figure out, but like address when those things start popping up. Those weaknesses. Those reasons why you put those boundaries up. And then people are gonna fight you on your boundaries. They're going to fight you on your boundaries. They're going to test your boundaries. They're going to make you want to relinquish your boundaries and tell you it's because they love you. They just want to see and they want to know if it's real and all these things. No. Those boundaries are in place because you are actually actively trying your best to address these certain demons, spirits, feelings, uncovered emotions that you could have, trauma, things that could have arisen from childhood that you didn't even realize really affected you. You maybe have overheard a conversation. Your name was in it and you were a kid, just a little tiny kid, not even old enough. Someone saying what your life is going to be like. All that stuff comes up now. And it's just like, whoa, where did all this come up from? So that's why it's like so important. You got to send these things off with light and love, but you got to make it clear. I put up this wall. I put up this boundary. I put up this standard because I'm addressing something that it may not be important to you, but it's a struggle for me. And yes, just because I'm showing up, okay? And yeah, because all this has happened and all this has changed, and I may look great, and I am great, but in order for me to get better, this is something that I'm addressing. So if you love me, if you care about me, you will not fight me on this. If anything, you will help me with this, right? But we can't just ask any old body for help on this. I will say it till I'm blue in the face. I suggest you go straight to the source. I suggest if you're not well-versed, because who really is well-versed? You know, even with your normal language, out of all the millions of languages in the world, to be able to express to a person, a psychologist, a therapist. A lot of people need therapy. I might even need therapy. Who knows? When I was going through my deepest and darkest eras of my life, I really was like, someone actually told me, you need to go see a therapist. You actually need to go get clinically diagnosed for depression. Somebody had to pull me aside. Someone who I actually valued. This was somebody whose life is falling apart, and they're trying to tell me no. I could see the love in her eyes when she pulled me aside in confidence and not in front of everyone, and she told me that. And from that point, I did get help, but I went straight to the source because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't fight it, and I love myself so much. And at the time, my son was little, and I love him so much that I actually do want to get help. I don't want to hide the fact that I need help. I don't want to hide the fact that I am actually really depressed. I cry every single day. So I just went straight to the source. I actually thought about it, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to explain because I don't even know what I'm feeling. I'm going to go straight to the source. I'm going to go straight to who made me. So when you're doing this, uncovering, and when they're hitting you, these realizations, right? This is the maintenance part. This is the oil. This is the elbow grease to what we already work so hard to get to in this point of our lives. I say go straight to the Bible. Get the Bible app if you don't have a physical Bible. But start from there. Start from being like, okay, I understand why I need discipline now. Of course, when we're young, we're anti-discipline. Even the most best well-behaved children are still anti-discipline. No one wants to hear no to the bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? But once you get to this stage of your life, you realize how important discipline is. But it's my parents set a good disciplinary foundation that led me to get all these physical things and upkeep them and maintain them. But only God can give you the spiritual foundation. And God left a beautiful scripture for us. So even if you have to, what I do sometimes is I'll actually put it into the search bar, how I'm feeling. So whatever I'm feeling, I'll type it in there, and then a bunch of verses will come up, and then you can just expound like that to start your spiritual journey. At least start it. Because it's really, really important, and that can help you set your boundaries. Because even for me, it was what is my boundaries even supposed to be? Because at this point, I feel like I don't even have any boundaries. And I'm not getting the respect, and I have to yell and scream in order for me to get respect and show people that I'm not playing with them and all these things for them to respect me. And it's just because I don't have any boundaries. So what is the boundaries at? And then it was a bunch of stuff, a bunch of things. And I'll tell you this, it's so easy, so much easier to well, this is a two-part statement. It's not really easier, actually, because sometimes you're your worst enemy. But I will have to say, once you get to a certain part of your discipline, it's a lot easier to maintain that discipline by yourself. But when you're around other people, or you're starting to endeavor and the spectrum of your relationship. And this is even for people who are actually still are actually in a relationship. I'm not in a relationship. I'm as single as a Pringle. But even as I'm conversing, if we're in a conversation, someone in confidence will talk to me, even you still have to have certain boundaries and stuff, even in a marriage, even in a relationship. And they can change. And that's why communication is so important. And love has to be a really important factor here, because At any moment, it's like, I have to set this boundary for myself, and that person needs to love you enough to allow you to do that. But if you have an issue setting the boundary, or even understanding, okay, I feel like this, what boundary do I need to set for that? Maybe it's not talking past 9 o'clock. Maybe it's not having sex before marriage. Maybe it's not being around, let's say you have an addiction of some sort, right? Don't go put yourself at a bar. Like, that you have gotten so many DUIs. Like, don't be around people that drink. Don't have friends that are still going to drink around you, knowing that you once suffered from that and you have this long span of being clean and sober. There's a certain boundary. Nope, I don't go to those types of places. Even if I'm not going to drink, I still just don't feel comfortable being there. And anyone who you're around needs to be like, okay, no problem. Let's Google up another location. Only people like that should be around you. And you could just I just gave you one example, but you need to take that example out and plug in what your thing is. And then from there, if you have issues making a boundary, setting a boundary around that, type it into the little search bar, find all the verses that go along with it, and create a boundary and stand in it. And whoever falls off, let them fall. Okay? Let them fall off. Don't try to grab them. Don't try to explain to them a million times, because you will end up resenting them. You will end up compromising. They will make you compromise. How do you know? Because they're going to test you. Because they're going to tell you don't really need to. They're going to insert their beliefs, not understanding this is something that you're really suffering with. Something that you're really going through and you're really trying to overcome. So it's not about it being important to them. It's not about it being convenient for them, or like, well, I did all this, so you should, and we've been friends, and we've been family, and we've been this for so long, you should just. All that should be non and void. It should be a simple, oh my gosh, no problem. I didn't even think of that. Please forgive me. Let me go ahead and look up another restaurant that we can go to. If people don't fall in line like that, honey, go by yourself. Do things by yourself. Live by yourself. Okay? And it's safer. Or make sure the people, places, and things that you're around, they need to be like in it with this journey with you. They need to love you enough, and the place that you're in your journey at that time. Because in order for them to be friends with you, family with you, relationship with you, is because they love the person who they saw. Right? So obviously, in order to keep the person that they saw, or in other words, for that person to keep who they are, like how Destiny Child says, remain the same chick you fell in love with. That one, like that line, how is she supposed to remain the same person if she cannot take care of herself? A lot of people fall off the wagon as soon as they get entangled, as soon as they get united. Because it seems like you have to drop all of your boundaries to compromise. You get a certain career that you're not equally yoked with, but it's a lot of money. It's just what you need. But then you see yourself falling off the bandwagon, and you can't even reap the harvest from it because you're dead. Like, how many people do we see in their bathtub? They woke up, family finds them in the bathtub, passed out dead, from an endeavor that they weren't equally yoked with. This is really like serious, and we're here on this earth. We have to be here on this earth for right now. So yeah, we really got to get a handle on owning who we are, showing up who we were meant to be, and making sure that that is like the number one thing moving forward, like in this season. No compromising. It leads to resentment. Lastly, do I have anything else to say? Because I had so much. Let me tell you, I'm like at work, just like, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that. Just wait till I get home. And this has been like a long time coming. But I just wanted to find a time to just be in a quiet time where my son's not asking me a million questions and my cat is not doing zoomies across and I'm like in the middle of making dinner, like actually prioritizing this video, because this new season, and don't worry about it. If, you know, with the whole light and love thing, I feel and I believe that in this season, because of the previous seasons before, like, these people are mature people. These places are mature places. These places are mature things. So if there's a shedding that has to take place, they might not like it, but they're going to, I believe, just, okay, you know, and take accountability. Because you're not gonna just for no reason. If there is a shedding that needs to take place, it's rightfully earned, trust me. But just make sure you're not getting manipulated into and conversing for too long. These long, I said I was long-winded, but that's in a playful manner. I'm in my vlog, I'm creating, I'm doing a groom that I want to take an extensively long time to make and cut and design. Not when I'm having a conversation with somebody and it's a serious, aligned conversation. As least words as possible. As least back and forth as possible. There's really no more room, because I'm pretty sure that there was a lot of conversations prior to this. I'm sure there was a lot of hints and probably a lot of bold statements too, mixed in hints. But remember, it was doused in compromising and trying to be nice and trying to be like, okay, it's not just all about me. There's another person, place, or thing in the mix here. How can I? Not when it comes to your boundaries. We are going somewhere. We are being our true authentic self. We can't do that anymore. We cannot. So I think there's two types of cases out here right now. And I would love it if it was like all a collective thing, but I feel like slowly it is. There's people that are trying to get back to who they were. And that's me. Me and my friend were just having a really deep talk conversation. It was like, you know, I can be at least happy that my whole endeavor is just trying to get back to who I was. That, who was it? Pacifist of a person. So just like happy. Didn't know that there was evil in this world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just so happy, like living life, not having to like watch your back so much, not knowing that a person or place or thing could really do this to you. Like, you know, if you said something about me or she's scary, she ain't gonna do nothing. I got a lot of that. She's scary, she ain't gonna do nothing. She a Oreo, she trying to act black, all these things. I didn't care. My dad told me when I was like in second grade, because I used to cry about stuff like that. He said, hey, look, you've been crying every single day about this, and I'm going to tell you right now. And he got to my level. He went down to my level. He didn't look down on me. He went down to my level. He said, stop caring so much. Stop caring so much. And from that day on, I did not cry about things like that anymore. Because this is who I am. And I don't have to yell and scream because you said I'm an Oreo and be like, no, I'm not. You think I'm an Oreo? I'm an Oreo. You think I'm acting white? You think I'm acting black one day? Don't act black. I am black. I don't know. Like, I can't keep up. Like, I am me. So, yeah. You know, it's really important. So there's the people that are trying to get back to that. Okay. And then there's people that are trying to leave who they were because they don't have they didn't have the attributes. Maybe they were an angry person, you know, hateful person. They did a lot of things that they regret when they were younger. Maybe they didn't treat their parents well. So they're going backwards in time and they're this marvelous person and they want to stay like that. So these are two endeavors, but they lead to the same place. They lead to the same place. And it doesn't matter how old or young you are. If you're watching this video, it does not matter. Again, if the sun is rising and if it happens to rise again tomorrow, that means you're living. Do not lose your will to live. I don't want to hear the rhetoric of I'm old. That's it for me. Like, and just basking in the news. Because if you watch the news, if you're going to watch the news, use it as a way to like understand that like the time is now. There's no more time to wait on your dreams, goals, endeavors, your boundary settings, and the things that are going to take you into the next phase of life if God allows it. But if you're watching the news and it's making you depressed, it's making you waste time, it's making you just like scared, like to the point where you're just like throwing in the white towel, then stop, please. Because I don't know about you, but 2024 has went by pretty darn fast. I think we're like a couple months into it being done. And I can't really wrap my head around it. But yeah, this season's really important. Okay, so I love you guys. I am excited. I am thankful. I am grateful. And even though I feel like I want to say there's like a lot of work to do, but there's not. It's a lot of understanding to do. And I'm giving myself the grace, the same grace that God gives me. Why am I going to be? I'm a person that really used to beat myself up, especially if I did something wrong, or I didn't accomplish something, or something wasn't the closest thing to perfect. I would beat myself up if I messed up. But now I'm asking myself, why did you mess up? What were you feeling? Like, I'm kind of reparenting myself. And I have amazing parents that at any moment I picked up the phone and I needed to be parented, they would do it at the drop of a dime. But I have to understand, like, they're not always going to be here, and these things are things that I have to be accountable for. So I literally need to be able to reparent myself. So instead of condemning myself, okay, we're at 35. Why did you do this? Let's sit down and really understand, like, take this out of the way, that out the way, this out of the way. What happened? And let's heal this part and move on. Because this is big. And this can take precedence in like the next point of your life. So it's like these things have to be addressed. But doing it in a form of grace, I think will be really, really, really essential in this season. It's not about beating ourselves up. When we were letting go of all the crazy stuff and the crazy, wild, reckless lifestyle living, yeah, we had to be more cutthroat. And we're like, no, bad, la la la, weeding, whooping, like. But now it's like, oh my gosh, you relapsed. And relapse just don't come in the form of drugs, guys. We always hear relapse and we think of like a overdose situation that was saved because of God's grace on the operation table because they pumped their stomach. Like, it could be as simple as you picked up the phone to the wrong person. You met up with the wrong person. You did business with the wrong person. You said something to the wrong person that could have reset everything that you had already going on in your mind and in your lifestyle. Because people, one thing we will do as a human race is help each other go 10 steps backwards. But when you find people that will help you go 10 steps forward, hold on to them. But the 100% like sure-proof plan for that is God. There will never be a 10 steps backwards. It'll always be forward, and it'll always like just be great. But you know, even in the having grace for yourself part, okay, yeah, we went 10 steps backwards, messed up, dropped the ball, but let's uncover why. So a lot of shadow work, a lot of reframing work, a lot of reframing sentences, a lot of reframing of boundaries, a lot of uncovering of like, okay, where did this stem from? And just really loving on ourselves and being more tender with ourselves. Males too. I said that in another one of my vlogs. This is a collective effort, okay? A collective effort. And I'm here for you. I'm making myself available for you. For those of you who are watching that always watch, thank you. Like, I really, really, really appreciate it. And if you're new here, please like, share, and subscribe. And like, really like, let's do this together. We don't have to do this alone. Once you find your tribe and you find your people, you don't got to be all up on each other. But it could be like, okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, I'm not doing too much. Okay, me setting this boundary and me like questioning if I'm doing too much or I'm being too much or I'm being unfair is not wrong. It's what I need to do for myself, and that person either can get with it or get left. But if we don't have these conversations with each other, we can get caught up in a little web of like, what is the word? Like, you know, like people make you feel like, why do you care about yourself so much? Who are you to care about yourself? Who are you to strive for the best? Who are you to want like to be positive and happy and want to do things the right way? There's 45,000 different denominations out here. How do you know it's the true one? I don't believe in none of that. I just believe in what I believe in, and that's just that I have my own connection. That's fine. Everyone needs to get in where they fit in, okay? So if you fit in over here, I love you. Till next time, in a world where the humans have done all they can, now it's up to us dogs.